I already did one take of this, and I didn't like it. It was also too long. So here we are doing another one. Today we're just gonna be chilling, playing some Brawlhalla, and talking about why I think tier lists are stupid. I think they're dumb. At least in Brawlhalla. Like I just don't think that they're good. I think that they're pretty useless. And we're gonna talk about why I think that. Much like the format in the last video I did that was kind of like this, which was why I got better when I stopped playing lanes. So here we go. First reason why I don't really like tier lists, I think that they're stupid, is because they don't even apply to the majority of the player base, okay? Now, there are certain tier lists that are made with like lower elos in mind, but the tier lists that I see don't really accommodate for this. Most of the tier lists I see are like, you know, made by pro players, and, you know, they're used by a lot of the player base to, I guess, justify, you know, if their weapons are good or bad or whatever. And he disconnected, cool. But basically the first reason is that they just don't apply to enough of the player base, in my opinion, to be worth anything. Like, if you think about it, I guess if you look at other games like Smash Brothers even, or League of Legends or whatever, I feel like those tier lists, I feel like they apply more to the overall player base, since, you know, the game's balance state, I guess not so much for Smash, but for Brawlhalla, or sorry, for League of Legends, the balance state is a lot more like chaotic, since there's like a lot more characters and all of them are different, as opposed to Brawlhalla, where every character has basically the same like base weapon set, which is, you know, unarmed, and some of them share weapons, some of them don't. Basically what I'm trying to say is that the balance is a lot more stable in Brawlhalla, so, you know, the game as a whole is more balanced. And because of that, you know, I guess if it's more balanced, you don't have to worry about things like being super inaccessible for newer players. So, that's really questionable for him. But anyways, that's basically the first reason why I don't like it, or I don't like tier lists, or I think they're dumb, because they just don't apply to the majority of players. And that's purely because of the game's, like, I guess, relatively balanced state, which is the second reason. The game is relatively balanced. And I kind of already touched on this earlier, but the game is relatively balanced. I know people have their issues with the game. I've talked with many people who've had issues with the game. And, you know, that's fine. You're allowed to have that opinion. I think, personally, the game is one of the most balanced games I've played. And that's half the reason why I don't think tier lists really matter that much either, because there's not that much discrepancy. He said that Greatsword was a really, this character is kind of cool. He said that Greatsword was the best weapon. And I didn't agree. I don't really think that Greatsword's that good right now. Like, for me personally. So, it's not that I'm wrong or that he's right. You know, I would definitely say, though, like, if you had to put money on it, I would definitely say he's more right than me, since he plays the game more. But I'm also not a pro player. And yet that's the thing you have to realize, is the game is relatively balanced. So even quote-unquote terrible weapons are still pretty good. Like, Lance, a weapon that is considered, you know, by some people to be really bad, or is a weapon that you can win on. Like, bad quote-unquote weapons, or quote-unquote bad weapons, are still good. You can still win with them if you have the skill for them. And that is, in my opinion, the sign of a really well-balanced game, is it's not heavily dependent on things that are good or bad, you know. I think League of Legends is a game that is more dependent on, you know, is this good or not? You know, like, you can one-trick Katars in this game and be mostly fine. If you tried to, like, one-trick, like, a character in League of Legends, right? Or I guess for more of a closer example, character is Street Fighter, you know, and it's just bad the whole season, enter low tier god. Like, yes, you can still win, but it's going to be significantly harder. In Brawlhalla, I don't personally feel like the worst weapon in the game means that it's significantly harder to win on. That's another reason why I don't think the tier lists are good, is they're not indicative of the player base, and they're also not indicative of the balance state, because tier lists, in my opinion, usually imply that there's like such a weapon that's like so bad that it can't be played, or you can play it and have like massive difficulty. This Azure is really kind of pogging. I play Azure, so I know what it's like, but oh no, she messed up. She messed up, guys. She messed up. Does she have anything to say? I'd like to see if they have something to say. No, I don't think she has anything to say. I think she's just, yeah. The third reason, and the final reason why I don't really think that tier lists are good is because they are used as a justification for players being good or bad. I just think this is stupid. If you are playing the quote-unquote worst weapon in Brawlhalla and you're losing on it, it is not because the weapon is bad, it is because you are bad. And I don't know how many people needed to hear that, but that's like, I don't know what else to tell you, bro. In a game like Brawlhalla, if you lose, it is not because the weapon is bad. Likewise, if you win a game, that does not mean you won because your weapon is good. That might just mean you're good, okay? Now, there are definitely times, right? For example, like Greatsword, where it definitely felt like the weapon could definitely carry people, okay? We saw this all throughout the second half of 2020 in the Brawlhalla Pro scene. That being said, I don't really like it when people say things like carried by Greatsword, okay? And I have people that disagree with me on this, and they know that I disagree with them on this. And you're entitled to your opinion. But to me, it does not matter. A win is a win, okay? So I don't care if they're quote unquote carried by the weapon. Oh my goodness. I hate when people disconnect because it's just a waste of time, man. I was saying that just because you lose with a weapon, okay? If you lose with a weapon, it's not because the weapon is bad, it's because you're bad. Likewise, if you win with a good weapon, that doesn't particularly mean that you're carried with it. It could just be that you're good. Now, obviously, the converse can be true in both instances. But in general, using tier lists as a justification for being good or bad at the game is stupid. Because Brawlhalla, really any game, but especially Brawlhalla, is just one of those games where if you're good, you'll win. And if you suck, you'll lose. You just stop making excuses. And I feel like that's what tier lists do in really any game. But I guess we're talking about Brawlhalla. And you use tier lists are used as an excuse. To be good, to be bad, whatever. Okay? Stop doing that. Take responsibility for your own skill and stop using tier lists as justification. Stop. I'm really tired of hearing X weapon is good because Caustic said so. Y weapon is bad because Sandstorm said so. I don't care. Stop telling me this. Like, actually form your own opinion. Play the weapons yourself. I don't understand why people keep saying X weapon is bad. And then they'll go play games on it. And then they'll go like 20-0. Or like 20-2. And they're like, oh, yeah, but the weapon's so bad. Like, shut up. Like, the weapon is not bad. You're very clearly good at the game. You're just being brainwashed by whatever pros are telling you. And you're just refusing to think for yourself. I made a video about this, actually, where I think people, like, take what pros say without context. But basically, that's why I'm just trying to say that using tier lists as a justification for being good, really it's just for being bad. But I guess it could be used for being good too. But stop using the tier list as an excuse for why you're bad. You're just not as good as you think you are. I am so bad at the game. This character is actually pretty fun though, on the real. And she's dead. Alright. Well, I think I got my points across. I don't hate pros, nor do I think that they're dumb at the game. I just think that tier lists are just a complete waste of time, in my opinion, for Brawlhalla. And I got Liar Solo. That's pretty good. But yeah. Thanks for sticking around, I guess. So, I'll see you guys in the next video.